tag their damn eyes. Because if you know it's not theirs, then we got you. You know, you can pick them up at any damn time. They can't be on too much, what's the name? You know what I'm saying? They can't run. They was talking about how these debit cards being stolen, money being stolen in a debit card. I had told the police officer in 2010 about my account. I had a Chase banking account for my business, my LLC, and then I had a regular account for my Social Security and disability. And my I had an ex-employer named Ann. Her name was Ann Pittman. When I worked with her, she had my still had my information, my Social Security number and stuff like that. And then I had another ex-employer named Miss Knox. Both employers knows my sister Darlene Holmes. I known them through her, and because of my sister Darlene Holmes, directed me to get a job with them, and she said they was cool people and they was okay and stuff like that. But I found out later they wasn't so cool. But saying with this credit card stealing and people putting property in your name and stuff like that, so you just never know when people is using your ex-employers. I doubt if Special Tree and all of them doing it, but I don't put nothing past them two. Ann Brown. Well, her name is Ann Brown. She died in 2015-16. Ann Brown, and Arthur Brown was her husband. Is her husband. I think he's a pastor of Gateway Missionary Baptist Church. Knox is she owns several group homes. Her family, and of course they know my sister Darlene's people, ex fiance that died. Her used to be stepdaughter or whatever they call each other, had two kids by Miss Knox's son, and I used to work with Miss Knox's son. And 9 out of 10, it was a thing going on with my niece Dawn, who gave Miss Knox's son my Social Security money, and she bought a house with the money, or land contract the house with the money in Detroit, Burgess Street or something like that, Burgess or whatever. So what I did was, at the time I was in the wheelchair. At the time I was hospitalized, so I didn't know what was going on until my brother told me. My brother James Miller, he told me. And he came to, I was staying in Wayne Living Center, and they had just took me from the hospital, Oakwood Hospital, Annapolis Oakwood Hospital, and put me in Wayne Living Center for weakness of left side and lower spinal. They just brought me there, and I think they had gave me a room there, and they said that I was doing my therapy there. And my brother came and told me that, all this stuff that was happening. And I didn't know, I still didn't know what he was talking about until like probably a couple of months later, when I was kind of feeling a little bit better. But my lawyer came in and he explained everything to me. And I was just trying to, I still didn't understand what they were saying. But as I got better through the years, my lawyer explained to me again what happened. And my lawyer, Robert L. Blimmer, they had to put a lock on my Social Security number because someone was putting things in my name, and my daughter. But my daughter stayed, my niece stayed at my house, who had access to all of my bank information, ID card, all that stuff. So 9 out of 10, I don't know how I still don't know. I sent for my credit report, and they said they had all these hospital bills and stuff like that, but I had paid all the hospital bills off, way before, like 2007. I had paid all my hospital bills off, and so while I was in the nursing home, I paid my credit off, but I found out that my sister Sharon and probably my brother Todd, they had an employer named Russell. His wife was a lawyer, and I think they probably ran into trouble or whatever, and somehow I got picked to scam, so I didn't find out until later, and I found out another thing in 2010 that someone was using my insurance, and the insurance company called and sent information to my lawyer. And I told my lawyer, I said, no, I didn't see any extra doctors, My sister Darlene kept saying Oakwood or whatever, but I never seen her go to any. I never seen her. She said she had dialysis, but ordered her daughter Dawn would take her to dialysis, but she didn't have no shunt in her. So how can you have dialysis and you have no shunt? You know what I'm saying? I didn't, even when me and my brother went to the hospital, we didn't see no shunt in her. She was on a dialysis machine, but I didn't see no shunt in her, So I don't know if she was faking or fraudulent medical fraud, or I don't know, because 9 out of 10, Miss Shirley said diabetic. I said, I ain't never had no diabetic treatments. My doctor was named Irvingham, and he ain't never treated me. You look at all my medical records, I ain't never been treated for diabetes. I have hypoglycemic. So I don't know if my sister Darlene did some fraudulent and used my name and used my insurance, but somehow Miss Shirley kept saying diabetes. And I said, I never was treated for diabetes. Now, me and my brother James Miller, we went to the medical Oak building and, seen Darlene in the hospital, but I never seen no shunt in her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they have committed fraud to get Social Security. I don't know. So, but if they did, I think they kind of used my records and duplicated my records and duplicated my illness and tried to collect Social Security or whatever. I don't know. But hopefully y'all can find that out, because like I said, hopefully and prayingly, God is who he say he is. He said, let vengeance be mine, save the Lord. Sometimes he venge by exposing. So if these churches and these members of these churches has to be exposed for medical fraud and stuff like that, then well, so be it, Now my daughter, she, like I said, maybe something happened along the way. Somebody put spousal something. I said, I'm not married. I never married Kaya's father, Terrence Lamar Sargent. I never married him. I never married another guy, so I don't know no other guy. Because once I broke up with him, I broke up with him, you know what I'm saying? And we've been broken up since 1996. We tried to make a go at it in between, but it never happened. So who else did I marry? You know what I'm saying? So, and what pastor married us? My sister is a reverend, and my brother is an elder, and Ms. Ann's husband is a pastor, but none of them married me. Pastor Robinson is a pastor, but he didn't marry me. So I'm not mentally disturbed, and I don't have Alzheimer's, and I don't have memory problems with who I married, or unless they producing some fake documents just to get money out of me, and what I'm saying, that I got money or whatever, that they forcing me to take care of some bum. What I'm saying? That's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, I'm not married to nobody. I didn't marry no same-sex person. What I'm saying? So there's this thing about Barack Obama. I never even voted. So if they do got me down for voting, it must be a fraudulent vote, because I didn't even register. I'm not even registered to vote. What I'm saying? So all of the years that I voted was an absentee ballot, and I was in a nursing home. So you can check that out. The last time I voted, it was at Holy Cross, and that was in 2010. What I'm saying? So, no, you can check it out. Last time I voted, it was at Holy Cross in North Plainfield, New Jersey, up the street from where I lived at. So that's the last time I voted. Other than that, I don't know nothing about no voting. So I'm not a convicted felon, so I can vote, unless they lying on that I am a convicted felon. Just never know. Just never know how people will screw your name up in a computer system. What I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay. See y'all later. Yeah. And y'all have permission to just check everything out. What I'm saying? I wouldn't lie to nobody. I mean, what would I gain out of lying? What I'm saying? So, see y'all later. Bye-bye.